The obsidian fortress floated in the void between dimensions, a prison designed by the ancient architects to contain what could not be destroyed. For 12 centuries and 38 years, no living soul had ventured within a parsec of its coordinates. The very space around it seemed to recoil, as if reality itself remembered the terror that dwelled within. Commander Lyra Vance stood on the observation deck of the Terran Resolve, her hands clasped behind her back as she studied the impossible structure ahead. Her reflection in the viewport showed a woman in her mid-30s, scarred from countless battles, with eyes that had seen empires rise and fall. But even she felt the primal whisper of fear crawling up her spine. "Commander, the Emperor's ship is approaching," her tactical officer announced, voice tight with anxiety. Lyra nodded slowly. The message had arrived 3 days ago, encrypted with codes so ancient that the Terran archives had nearly failed to translate them. The Galactic Emperor, humanity's mysterious leader who appeared only once every few generations, had summoned her here. To this place, to witness something that defied all protocol and sanity. The Emperor's vessel materialized without fanfare, a sleek silver craft no larger than a diplomatic shuttle. It drifted past the Terran Resolve as if the massive warship were insignificant, heading directly toward the fortress. Lyra watched transfixed as the shuttle pierced the barrier that had repelled every probe and ship for over a millennium. "Follow them," she commanded. "Maintain distance, but stay within sensor range." Her crew exchanged nervous glances, but they obeyed. The Terran Resolve advanced, and to everyone's shock, the barrier parted for them as well, like water accepting a stone. The interior of the fortress was vast and empty, a cathedral of darkness illuminated only by veins of pulsing crimson energy that ran through the walls like infected arteries. At its center, suspended in a cage of pure solidified light, was Valthor. The dragon was enormous beyond comprehension. Its scales were the color of dying stars, black and purple with hints of cosmic fire. Even imprisoned, even diminished by 12 centuries of captivity, the creature radiated power that made the ship's instruments scream warnings. Its eyes, ancient, intelligent, and utterly alien, remained closed. The Emperor's shuttle landed on a platform that seemed to materialize from nothing. Lyra ordered her ship to dock nearby, her curiosity overriding her survival instincts. She had to know. She had to understand why humanity's most enigmatic leader had come to this forsaken place. She found the Emperor standing before the cage, hands clasped behind their back in a mirror of her own posture. The Emperor wore a simple black uniform without insignia, their face obscured by a hood that seemed to absorb light itself. "Commander Vance," the Emperor said without turning, "thank you for bearing witness." "Your Majesty," Lyra replied, approaching cautiously. "Why are we here? What is this creature?" "Valthor," the Emperor answered, "was once called the Destroyer of Worlds. It ravaged 17 galaxies before the architects managed to imprison it here. They built this fortress at the cost of their entire civilization. Every single one of them sacrificed their lives to forge these chains." Lyra stared at the sleeping dragon. "And you've come to—" "What? Speak with it." "To free it." The words hit Lyra like a physical blow. "That's insane. This thing could annihilate everything," the Emperor interrupted calmly. "Yes, it could, but it won't." The Emperor raised one hand, and the crimson veins in the walls began to pulse faster, brighter. The cage of light started to fracture, hairline cracks spreading across its surface like a shattering mirror. "Stop!" Lyra drew her sidearm on instinct, though she knew how futile it was. "I can't let you do this." "You cannot stop me, Commander, but you can understand." The Emperor finally turned to face her, and though she still could not see their features, she felt the weight of their gaze. "Humanity has reached a threshold. We have conquered disease, death, and distance. We have spread across the stars and forged an empire that spans half the known universe. But we have grown complacent, soft." The cage shattered with a sound like reality breaking. Valthor's eyes opened, burning with the light of supernovas. The dragon moved for the first time in over a millennium, its massive head rising as chains of solidified energy fell away like morning mist. The fortress trembled, and Lyra's ship began emergency protocols, preparing to flee. But the Emperor stood perfectly still. "Valthor," the Emperor said, voice carrying across the impossible distance, "I am the descendant of those who helped imprison you. I am human, and I have come to offer you a choice." The dragon's laugh was a sound of collapsing stars. When it spoke, its voice resonated in Lyra's bones. "A choice?" You presume much, little flame. Join us, the Emperor continued. Not as a weapon, not as a servant, but as an equal. Help us face what's coming from the dark between galaxies. The architects saw it in their final visions. A threat that will make your old conquests look like children's games. Silence filled the fortress. Valthor lowered its massive head until it was level with the Emperor, close enough that a single breath could incinerate them both. And if I refuse? The dragon rumbled. If I choose to finish what I started 12 centuries ago? The Emperor reached up and pulled back their hood. Lyra gasped. The face revealed was young, impossibly young, but the eyes were old as galaxies. And they were smiling. Then I will stop you, the Emperor said simply. I am human, Valthor. We do not yield. We do not break. We have climbed from caves to conquer the stars, and we have done so by facing down gods and monsters alike. You can join us as an ally, or you can learn what humanity has become in your absence. For a long moment, the dragon simply stared. Then, incredibly, it began to laugh, a sound like thunder rolling across a living world. You are either the bravest or the most foolish creature I have ever encountered, Valthor declared. Very well, little Emperor. I accept your challenge. Let us see if humanity has truly earned its place among the eternal. The dragon spread its wings for the first time in 1238 years, and the fortress began to collapse around them. Lyra ran for her ship, her mind reeling with impossible revelations. As the Terran Resolve escaped the disintegrating prison, she watched through the viewport as Valthor soared free into the void. The Emperor's small shuttle flying alongside the ancient beast like a spark beside a bonfire. Humanity had just made an alliance with a god of destruction, and somehow Commander Lyra Vance realized this was the most human thing she had ever witnessed.